I finally met the man of my dreams, and I destroyed it. This was my first time ever cheating in my life. I was 27 years old when I met the man of my dreams. I'm 32 today. We weren't married very long. Now I'm divorced, single, and depressed. I truly am depressed, and I am on medication for it. I will be certain not to read the comments on this video, true story, if you choose to read it to your audience. I don't believe that your overall audience is toxic, though. But I'm sure there would be some that will say some negative things. I've heard countless stories read by you, and I've never heard you give any negative toxic responses to people. So I'm comfortable hearing your thoughts, whether you reply to this email or give it on the broadcast video. Ever since I was a little girl, I knew I wanted to be a wife. Have a house, dog, 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl. I'd over-exaggerate back then and think how my husband would be a rich banker, very sweet and kind, loving, and never told me no. I guess I was a spoiled brat when I was a kid, but I put emphasis on my husband never being allowed to tell me no, because I would never ask for something outlandish. So him telling me no only meant that he didn't like me anymore, and he's not being sweet and kind to me. Growing up, I've noticed lots of men are either sweet and kind but lack something like money, maybe overweight, or very successful financially, but they are complete jerks. I started dating in high school, and I can say I never had a high school sweetheart. I did have a male friend who I later found out had a huge crush on me while we were in high school. I had no idea. He's a surgeon today, married with 5 children. He wouldn't even speak to me at our class reunion. That truly hurt me. So his name was Charles, my friend from high school. Our sophomore year, he told me that he was jealous that I kept chasing after this guy who eventually just used me for my body. He confessed that he liked me and wanted to be in a relationship with me. Charles, that is. My response to him was, "Ew, but we are friends. You're like my brother." I didn't realize how loud I was, and everyone in chemistry class heard it, and they laughed. We remained friends through graduation, but at the moment in chemistry class, he was very upset and embarrassed. I did apologize, and we moved past it. I continued to go for guys I liked, and I kept ending up with getting used for my body and no actual dates. After high school graduation, Charles, my best friend, completely abandoned me. For good reason. He decided he wanted to be a medical doctor. We went from hanging out every day for a week after graduating high school to me never seeing him again until our class reunion. I truly missed and realized later in life that he was a soulmate. I do believe in soulmates, and it's possible to have more than one. It's just rare to impossible to find one, let alone 2. I had 2 in my life, and they are both gone and have moved on. Throughout college, I tried dating and I met some okay guys. I actually began to be taken on dates, but realized if I didn't put out by the second date, these guys would just ghost me. So during freshman year in college, I basically became promiscuous and I would put out. I wanted someone good to like me, but I realized after freshman year that all men wanted was action. Throughout college, I continued to do that. By the time I graduated, I was exhausted. I wanted love, a family, something real, and I was determined to find it. I decided to practice abstinence, and I did so for 1.5 years after graduating college. It was easy to weed out the guys who only wanted to sleep with me. Most of them would tell me that I was lying about being abstinent, and I'm giving it up to someone else while they are paying for my dinners. I offered one guy to go Dutch every time, as I'm not lying about being abstinent and only looking for free meals. He eventually ghosted me, only proof that he just wanted one thing. So I got better at dating, no longer allowing these men to take advantage of me, take me to dinner, court me, and never bring up getting intimate. I don't mind kissing at all, but in the very beginning, I tell men I'm not interested and getting laid until marriage. They all claimed that they were okay with it. 98% of them will drop off, and I'd have to give the other guys who have been begging to take me out a shot. And the same old thing would just keep happening until one day I met Roger. That's his real name. Roger was handsome, tall, funny, intelligent, and was practicing abstinence as well. We dated for 4 months before we became boyfriend and girlfriend. Then we were exclusive for 2 years before marriage. We did start intimacy well before the engagement, actually before we became exclusive. I was the happiest woman in the world, though. I had the perfect man. Not one single thing I didn't like about him, until he started taking more work trips away. His job would send him everywhere after he got promoted. We were getting old, and I knew the clock was ticking on having children, but I wanted him home, not away from me. I started accusing Roger of cheating. I'd sneak through his phone and laptop, begging him to tell me what's going on. I never found anything. I hired a private investigator and paid them quite a bit of money that Roger gave to me, and they found nothing but corn Roger deleted before coming home a few times. That was all I had, so I started an argument when he got home. I told him he likes those disgusting women more than his wife. I know all about the corn he's been watching. Big chest stepmom, are you kidding me? He was so embarrassed and apologized and said he doesn't want those women. Roger upgraded my car, got me flowers, mani and pedi. He truly felt bad and swore he'd never watch corn again. I had access from my device to all of his devices, and he indeed never watched any of that stuff again. For some reason, I still couldn't get over it. And the only way I thought to was to cheat on my husband, unfortunately. I downloaded a dating application and immediately started responding to the guys I liked. It only was supposed to be talking because I was lonely when my husband wasn't home. Only cooking for myself and speaking with him on FaceTime sucked. I needed attention from someone closer, and a new guy was that. He fulfilled what my husband didn't while he was away. This man I met on the application would come to our home, and somehow that turned into me being intimate with him. It was just for him to come over and try my cooking along with some friendly conversation. That was it. Every single time my husband was away, this new guy was over. Even if I had my menstrual cycle, he still came to give me attention. That all ended when my husband came home early after his Texas visit. He's come home early before, but he'd usually tell me. This time, he didn't. And I know why now, because he began to suspect that I was cheating on him. And he was correct. My new boy toy and I were in the kitchen, fully unclothed, getting it in. My husband came right into the kitchen. I didn't even hear the door open. In fact, I thought I had the alarm on and everything locked. Usually, you'll hear a beep or something. I heard nothing. Maybe I was way too much into the moment. I'm not going to lie. The guy I cheated on my husband with wasn't even better than my husband. He wasn't better in bed. He wasn't a better kisser. He wasn't sweeter. He was just there when I needed him. He wasn't bad, but he just wasn't better than my husband. Till this day, I beat myself up about it. Not only did I cheat on my husband, but I cheated on him with someone who was less than him. Main thing I loved about this guy was that he drove a motorcycle. I thought that was sexy and cool. That's about it, though. That's the only thing he had on my husband. My husband did not do things like ride motorcycles, or he didn't live on the edge at all. And I was okay with it. I just wasn't okay with him being gone for work all the time. The plan for him was to hire someone, because they would be younger and probably likely unmarried, was going to do more of the traveling while my husband stayed in the office, but I guess I just couldn't wait. I needed him now. He told me no, so I decided to jump on that app and I found this guy. But my husband walked in and he shouts, "What the F? What's going on? You have to be kidding me right now." I look up and I'm shocked. My boy toy, I pushed him off of me and I run towards my husband. My husband pushed me so hard that I fell down to the ground. He screamed at me, "Do not effing touch me." And he dares the guy to approach him and try to fight him. I guess the new guy said something to my husband once he pushed me. That man grabbed his clothes and ran out of our place. No clothes on. I begged my husband, "Please, just listen to me. Let me explain everything." My husband said to me, "I knew you were doing something. I knew you were cheating. You were projecting the whole entire time. You weren't worried about me cheating on you. You were hoping that I was cheating on you, just so you can justify your cheating. How long have you been doing this? Since before we were married?" I told him the truth. No, I never cheated before until he started taking trips. He stopped me and said, "So me being gone from home, you figure, well, I have all the time in the world now, and you take time to cheat? You couldn't sit here and knit a sweater or learn a new hobby or maybe try out some new recipes? No, you decide to give your body away to another man. Who is this man?" I told him how I met him, and he's been there for me while my husband has been away. I get into Roger's face and I tell him how sorry I am. He pushes me again, hard, and I fell on the couch, this time screaming, "Do not blow your stank breath in my face. It smells like..." I'm not going to say that. Dang. "We are done. I want nothing to do with you. I'm glad we never had children. I'm glad we never purchased a home together. I'm done with you. I don't know how long you've been doing this behind my back, but I don't even care. I saw what I needed to see. We're done." I cried so hard I couldn't believe what had just happened. Why would I cheat on my perfect husband? What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking. I was being selfish. I wanted a need fulfilled, and I got it from someone else after promising my husband that I would never cheat on him. I'd never betray him. Here I am, betraying him. After our divorce, I tried and tried to get a hold of him. Nothing. I tried reaching out to his family. I sent letters and I sent everything. Nothing worked. I have not spoken to him, and I am miserable. Now I'm all by myself, just like I didn't want. I didn't expect to get caught. It was only supposed to be temporary, and my husband was never to find out about this. What's done in the dark comes to the light. I guess I'm not happy at all. I ruined the best thing that ever happened to me. True story, earlier I spoke about my best friend from high school. That was another heartbreak as well. When I ran into him at the class reunion, I tried so hard to speak to him. He wouldn't even look at me. It's like we never were best friends. I even tried to remind him of some funny things that we did. I spoke to his wife. His wife comes from a wealthy family, and they continued to have children while Charles was in school. I told her stories all about me and Charles in high school. She thought it was funny. She had never heard of me before, by the way, but I told her Charles and I were best friends. And I told her all the fun things we used to do. When he came back over, his wife tried to start a conversation about stories that I told her from high school. He just grabbed his wife's hand and walked on. Didn't even look at me, like I was a piece of trash or something. I didn't deserve that. I just feel like I'm being tortured. Everything wrong is happening, and I don't understand. Like my whole life. I knew I loved Charles also because when his wife was telling me about the children, he has multiple children, by the way, with this woman. They have a huge, beautiful family. She even showed me pictures on her phone. But when she showed me, I was hurt. I pretended like I was happy and proud. But I wish that that was me in that picture and not her. I deserve that. Why can't I have love? Why can't I do the right thing? What is wrong with me?